Live from Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama. Live from Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Megginson. A severe weather update. Live from Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Megginson. A severe weather update starts right now.
Tornadoes and damaging straight-line winds going to become possible on Tuesday night. We have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced severe weather risk for much of the Deep South as we get into Tuesday and into tomorrow night. It's Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday tomorrow, and some of the parades late tomorrow evening may be adversely affected by this cluster of thunderstorms that's set to move in from the west. We've got all the details for you on this Monday night as we look ahead to tomorrow night, when we could have some severe weather across parts of South Alabama and Northwest Florida. This is the convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and they have much of East Texas, far southwestern Oklahoma, southern Arkansas, the northern part of Louisiana, much of Mississippi, and a big chunk of South Alabama and Northwest Florida in their level 3 out of 5 enhanced severe weather risk. That means that strong to severe thunderstorms are likely. Not every community in these zones will have severe weather, but severe weather is most likely to happen in this orange zone that now includes a big chunk of our local area. Let's look at how it may happen first. This comes off of the high-res rapid refresh model, and much of the daytime hours tomorrow should be dry. This look is valid at 4 o'clock tomorrow evening, showing storms organizing to our west across parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. By 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, storms on our doorstep in southeast Mississippi coming into west Alabama. By 8 o'clock, that look is valid at 10 o'clock. Storms likely to be in progress tomorrow night across our local area, some of these likely to be severe. And by midnight tomorrow, the storm complex likely to be on the eastern side of our region, kicking out of here by 2 or 3 in the morning. The main concern on Tuesday night going to be damaging straight line wind gusts and a few tornadoes. It's a bit unclear as to if this will be a classic QLCS or squall line, or if this will be supercells, a line of discrete storms. If it's a squall line, we're more likely to see damaging straight line winds across our region, whereas if this is more of a discrete supercell line, we could see a heightened tornado risk. And so regardless, we are expecting impactful weather coming across our region 6 p.m. tomorrow evening to 3 a.m. early Wednesday morning. And so if there's any bit of good news, it's that this is coming in the first half of the night, and hopefully a good bit of us will be able to get some sleep after midnight. So that's kind of a look at what we're expecting in terms of this system progressing from west to east across our region. A level 3 out of 5 risk. An uncommon risk, we did have one several weeks ago, and we had a few tornadoes with that event as well. you can see that a big chunk of our local area is involved with this. Slightly lower risk of severe storms on the eastern side of our region, from Navarre back over into Crestview, Niceville, Eglin Air Force Base, Destin, back up to Florella, Andalusia, back into Greenville and Camden. And the reason that the severe weather risk is a bit lower in those communities is because we have instability values that are a bit higher to the west that will end up being a bit lower as storms translate to the east. Here's a look at timing. The event starts in southeast Mississippi, back into Louisiana, into New Orleans in the evening hours, probably between 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then that cluster of showers and thunderstorms will continue pushing to the east from 7 p.m. to midnight, roughly the time frame that a big chunk of us across South Alabama and Northwest Florida will have the main severe weather issues tomorrow night. Again, this is not valid for tonight. This is tomorrow night. So in 24 hours from now, could be dealing with strong to severe storms. And then the whole thing kicks out as we get into early Wednesday morning in the pre-dawn hours into southeast Alabama and the Florida Panhandle region from Walton County and points east. So let's kind of break the convective outlook down and look at the individual hazards. First thing to know is that the tornado risk has increased, and this is going to be somewhat of a conditional tornado risk. If we have supercells out ahead of the line, or perhaps that whole line is a line of discrete cells, we would have a heightened tornado risk. And we note that the Storm Prediction Center has included a big chunk of our area in this significant tornado risk zone. This flashing area of purple and white, that's where the risk of EF2 tornadoes could be a bit higher. Now, in this zone, I do think that the overall risk of EF2 plus tornadoes is probably going to maximize in this zone, probably in southern Mississippi near the Louisiana line, and perhaps extending over into the western part of our region as well. But regardless, we pretty much all have a tornado risk, maybe a few significant tornadoes as we get into tomorrow night. We're also concerned about the potential for damaging straight line winds across our region. And let me stress, no matter if you're in the yellow shading or the orange shading, we all have a risk of strong to severe storms tomorrow night. And there is this enhanced area of significant wind damage where widespread damaging winds may happen, most likely in this part of Louisiana and Mississippi. So basically from Shreveport and Monroe, Louisiana, near the Mississippi River and Vicksburg, back over to far western Alabama. That's where the zone of greatest potential for wind damage exists on Tuesday into Tuesday night. Also could have some large hail with this system, mainly on the western side of our local area and back into southeast Mississippi. So a level 3 out of 5 enhanced severe weather risk, driven by the potential for a few tornadoes damaging straight line winds, and we could have some power outages. If we get pressure gradient winds out ahead of the storms, which is a likelihood on your Tuesday, we could even have some power outages out ahead of the thunderstorms tomorrow. And so what I would encourage you to do, this is what I'm going to do, charge those devices tomorrow morning before the weather takes a turn for the worst. We note that all local counties have a wind advisory valid from Tuesday to midnight tomorrow night. And this is in place because of that potential for winds out ahead of the thunderstorms. These are going to be strong winds out of the south. We're talking 15, 20, 25 mile per hour sustained wind values with gusts as high as 30 to 40 miles per hour across our region. And so it's going to be a very breezy Fat Tuesday across much of our region. We also note that there is a high wind warning in place for Jackson, Harrison, Pearl River, and Hancock counties in southeast Mississippi, and for much of Louisiana near New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So a high wind warning in place to our west, and that's in place because of slightly higher projected wind values for the daytime hours of Tuesday. 40 to 50 mile per hour winds not out of the question. For Fat Tuesday from New Orleans and much of southeast Mississippi, a wind advisory for all local counties tomorrow ahead of the thunderstorms. So let's get in there and kind of break this down. This could be the limiting factor tomorrow. In other words, we're always looking in these forecasts for what could go wrong. And this could be one of those situations where we see the enhanced surface-based instability or convective available potential energy values, in other words, the fuel for the thunderstorms, maximizing to our west. In fact, I think it will maximize because that's when the daytime will be happening. Storms would be in progress back here to the west of Interstate 59 in southeast Mississippi. But once storms get to us, those instability values are going to be a bit lower. Now, not zero by any stretch of the imagination, but they will be a bit lower. And we're talking values between 500 and 1,000 joules per kilogram. And that still is certainly supportive of severe storms, but if there is a situation where we see the potential for a lower severe weather situation, it would be because these instability values are a bit lower than we thought. In other words, this is what we're projecting, 500 to 1,000. But if those values are a bit lower, that means storms may be weaker than forecast. However, on the flip side of this, if these values are higher, that would mean a higher severe weather risk across the region. One thing I'm not concerned about in terms of the forecast breaking, I guess you could say, is this. We're going to have a powerful low-level jet. In other words, those winds at about 5,000 feet above your head in the atmosphere are going to look like this. 70, 80 mile per hour winds that high in the atmosphere, and this really is the driver for a lot of the severe storms forming. And this is going to be a value that is very high as we get into tomorrow night. This is valid at 6 o'clock. These numbers are not representative of surface winds necessarily, but are representative of the winds at 5,000 feet, the 850 millibar height. And so with these numbers, it's not going to take much to get those winds howling at that level of the atmosphere down to where we are on the surface of the earth. We're also concerned about spin in the thunderstorms. This is a look at a parameter called updraft helicity. Helicity is basically a word that just means spin in the atmosphere, in the total column of the atmosphere. And when you see values like this lets us know that some of these storms will be rotating most likely and could produce a few tornadoes. And so the parameters are in place that we could have a few strong to severe storms on Tuesday night across much of our region. Now, one thing that we're going to be doing a bit differently with this event that we have not done previously, we are going to test out a new policy called our all clear policy. And this is good because if we are not in live severe weather coverage tomorrow, we still need to be able to give you a way to get an all clear message. And so then you can go to sleep. And so what we're going to do tomorrow is introduce this policy. We have 12 counties that we cover here at Red Zone Weather. Anytime there's a tornado warning for these counties, we go live and we stay live until the threat is over. That has been our long-standing policy since day one, 10 years ago. Hard to believe that we've been around 10 years, but that's the case. And tomorrow what we're going to do, as storms clear through your county, we're going to send an alert out to specific counties in those county toggles in the Red Zone Weather app. So it's going to look somewhat like this. As the line of storms moves through your county and the whole county is in the zone behind the line, we'll be able to give you an all clear. And so you can look for those alerts if you have your specific county on. And then once we get to say 2, 3 in the morning, once the whole line clears through all our counties, we're going to send out a medium level alert that will say all clear for the entire region. And so we're doing this because if, let's say, we're not live with a tornado warning, we still want you to be able to get the all clear and go to bed. And so go in that Red Zone Weather app and turn on those medium level alerts if you want the final all clear, or if you want one for your specific county that you'll likely get earlier in the night. Go ahead and turn on your specific county. So getting tornado warnings, and we want to be able to give you an all clear once the event is over for you. So tomorrow, the daytime hours mostly will be dry. Could have some showers around in the evening hours, but then severe weather possible tomorrow night. Ahead of an advancing cold front, highs only in the 60s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then we get another round of storms on Saturday. That's something to watch in the days ahead, but just know storms tomorrow night and another round coming on Saturday. The severe weather parameters with that look a bit lower for now, but it's something we'll have to watch in the days ahead. Regardless, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday should be A-OK, and then more storms on Saturday. And so a level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk going to be a deal from 6 p.m. tomorrow evening to 3 a.m. early Wednesday morning. Be sure to have a way to hear warnings. You can have our Red Zone Weather app, and also we encourage you to have something loud like a NOAA weather radio that will alert you in case we have a tornado warning for your specific location. I will have plenty more updates posted in the Red Zone Weather app in the hours ahead and tomorrow throughout the day ahead of our severe weather risk tomorrow night. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson saying goodbye for now. I do hope you have a wonderful Monday evening. Happy Mardi Gras to you and your family. And we'll see you in our next video tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Plenty more updates coming in the Red Zone Weather app. Have a good evening.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.